Hello and welcome. So today I wanted to make a green bean recipe. I'm really wanting to bring a lot of vegetable recipes because I know that for me, I didn't really grow up eating a lot of vegetables, and the ones that I ate, I wasn't super fond of. So sometimes it was, just my mom really encouraging me to eat it or eating it because I felt like I should. And a lot of times it was things like, steamed broccoli, frozen peas that have been heated up in the microwave and stuff like that. So I got to a point in my life where I realized I needed a lot more vegetables and that I was going to need to learn how to cook them in ways that I would actually enjoy eating them. So today we're actually going to make a new recipe. I haven't made this recipe before, so this will be an experiment that we'll do together. And this is an Indian recipe. I really like the Indian flavors, and so I wanted to share that with you because a regular vegetable that we might be used to eating just steamed, maybe with a little bit of butter, when we use the Indian flavors, it becomes so flavorful and it becomes a totally different kind of dish. So this recipe is called green beans Poriyal, and I just discovered it this past week where I was watching a cooking show, and this woman made it and I thought that looks really delicious, so I wanted to try it. So we're going to try it together. So the first thing, well, I have some fresh green beans here. And this is about a pound of green beans. In a minute, I will remove the stems and cut them up. And then I also have some yellow split peas. I got these at the Persian market, but sometimes you can find them at the grocery store. If you have an Indian market nearby, you could find them there. And if you can't find the yellow split peas, I'm thinking you can actually make the recipe without it, because when I was researching a little bit this Poriyal online, what I discovered is that it's basically like an Indian vegetable stir fry. So instead of adding the split peas, you could make this with green beans and carrots. You can make it with other vegetables too. You can make it with beetroot or, there's different options. So if you don't have the split peas, just go ahead and add another vegetable, add some corn in there, whatever you like. So the first thing I'm going to do is cook the yellow split peas. I really wanted to add them because they do add fiber and some protein. So that's why I wanted to do it with the split peas. So I'm going to cook the split peas. I have them in this pot here with I have a quarter cup of the yellow split peas, and I have about 3/4 teaspoon of turmeric and about 2 cups of water. And I'm going to cook that for about 20 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to prep the green beans. The other thing I wanted to say about the green beans is I bet you could do this recipe with frozen green beans. I haven't done it, but I'm 99% sure that it would be totally fine. So if you wanted to make it simpler, you could throw some frozen green beans, some frozen carrots, and the spices in a pan, and that would make it a really simple dish. So I'm going to go put this on the stove and prep the green beans, and then I'll be back and we'll put it together. So our yellow peas are done cooking, you see, and the turmeric adds this nice bright yellow color to them. I ended up cooking them for about 25 minutes, almost wondering if I could have cooked them even less than that, but that's okay. And remember, if you decide to go with frozen vegetables, everything I've done up until now, you won't have to do. But I'll also show you, I prepped the green beans. I cut the stems off and I cut them into about 1 to 2 inch pieces. Okay, let's set those aside for a minute. So I've been heating up this burner. I've got this pan heating. And first I'm going to put in some curry leaves. Now I just had these curry leaves in the freezer. I get them at the Indian market. If you don't have curry leaves, you can make this recipe without it. Or curry leaves are very aromatic. So if you wanted something, a little bit of that aromatic flavor, you could also use citrus. You could use lime zest or a little bit of lime juice. So let's see, let me put these in here. Okay, and we can hear them sizzling. So we know that the oil is nice and hot. Also, the recipe called for a dried chili. I didn't have any dried chilies, and at the market I went to, I couldn't find any. I'm just gonna put some crushed red pepper. That will give it a little bit of heat. So just sprinkle a little bit in there. 1/16 of a teaspoon. All right. Next, I'm going to add, I have mustard seeds. This is a blend of brown and black mustard seeds. You can find those at the grocery store. And I'm going to add this dal. This is actually a split black-eyed peas. And again, I got it at the Indian market. If you don't have that, I would say you don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to stir this until the dal starts to get toasty. I think I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Feels a little bit hot. So the dal will turn a little bit of a toasty brown. My mustard seeds are already popping all over the place. Okay, and those are, I have too much heat. I'm going to turn it down a little more. And the thing about the electric stove is you have to let it cool for a second. So that's why I take it right off of the heat. But yeah, my dal is a toasty brown color. And that my mustard seeds are popping. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my green beans, and that will help cool things down too. So now the green beans are still raw, they're not cooked at all. So we're just going to stir them around here until they get cooked. If you were going to use different vegetables, I think I would choose a green vegetable and then something that has a nice yellow or orange color to it. I think those bright colors just are very appetizing. When our food is beautiful colors, I think that makes it more appetizing and more satisfying to eat. It's been about 2 minutes. I'm going to add my other ingredients here. I'm going to add my beautiful yellow split peas. I'm going to add my ginger. I just diced up a piece of ginger. It comes out to about a teaspoon of diced ginger. Now I have a half a teaspoon of this chutney powder. This is a spice that I haven't used before. I have the bag here. Let's see. We got this at the Indian market. So it says there's black gram splits. Not sure what those are. Red chili, salt, mustard. Oh, curry leaves and hing. Now, we've cooked with hing before. Hing is a spice you can get it at the Indian market. I order it on this website called Pure Indian Foods. And the other name for it is asafoetida. So if you see that in a recipe, that is referring to hing, pureindianfoods.com. And what I like about it, hing has a very pungent odor. What I like about this brand is that it comes in the little glass jar and that contains the pungent odor, because otherwise I've had my whole cupboard smell like hing. It's a really strong smell, but when you use it in Indian food, don't be afraid of it. I mean, you're going to add it in very small amounts, usually like 1/8 a teaspoon or 1/16 of a teaspoon. But it does add a really nice flavor to the food, even though the smell kind of makes you wonder if it's going to be a nice flavor or not. All right, I'm going to add some salt. I have about a half a teaspoon of salt here. And I'm going to stir all that around, and I'm actually going to put the lid on and give it about 2 minutes. And then we'll see how the green beans are doing. And here I have about a 1/4 cup of coconut. So I'm just going to pour this in and stir it up. Okay, our green beans are done. And just look at this beautiful dish. We've got the green from the green beans, the yellow from the yellow split peas, and then we've got the coconut and all of those lovely spices. So since this was a new recipe for me, I've never tasted it before, and you guys were willing to be with me while I make this, let's taste it and see how it is. We get some green beans and some split peas. It's nice. It does have a coconutty flavor. It's not too spicy. I don't know if I'd use a red pepper if it would be spicier. I think the salt is just right. And just those flavorful spices, the black mustard seeds, the curry leaves. If you don't have curry leaves, I would definitely recommend a little bit of citrus, like some lime zest, and that will give it a nice little zing. So a successful recipe, especially for the first time around. I would definitely recommend it, and a much more interesting way to eat green beans. So thank you for joining me. Have a great day.